Hi everybody, Dan Oman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets. Hi everybody, Dan Oman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, February the 2nd. We're going 5 furlongs on the turf at Gulfstream Park, race number 7. $62,000 is the purse. We're going 4-year-olds and up. It's an optional claiming race with a post time of 3:37. Let's take a look at this field. Remember to download your free Formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. When you've made your final determinations, you can play this race and the entire card at Gulfstream Park on Wednesday with your DRF Bets account. Extravagant Kid Mike, one of our favorites. He's a true hard-hitting professional. He actually won a Group 1 race in Dubai last year, and he might have been pace compromised in a similar spot last time out, the Jaina Stakes.
Yeah, maybe he was. Really, really good horse. Been around for a long time. He's been good for a long time. Outside of that race in Dubai nearly a year ago, Dan, a lot of races recently anyway, where he tends to come up short more often than he wins. But man, he still always shows up, and he's 9 years old.
Now, the Timeform US Pace Projector is really intriguing for this race. Shecky Shabazz, who has a good amount of back class as well, also has a good amount of back speed. He's now back with Christophe Clement. Sometimes Clement likes to not rush his horses out of the gate, but I think Shecky Shabazz is so naturally fast, he's going to outsprint like what I see in Harry's on the Loose.
Yeah, I think he probably will too. Your point's well taken about the way that Clement likes to train his horses, but this horse, has raced for Clement in the past. He had speed in those races. I suspect he's going again.
The number 1 is Like What I See. This is a New Jersey bred who's been banging around for a long time, and he scored at Gulfstream Park for trainer Kelly Breen back in December. Let's watch that race right now. Now, this is only a $25,000 non-winners of one other than optional claimer, and boy, he was able to get to an easy early lead. You see Kasim, who's also in this race, and they're just going to go 1-2 down to the wire. Like What I See has more of a stretch kick than Kasim.
Yeah, just too good for this field. In good form right now, I guess you could, say he has that going for him at least. And he's won 3 of his last 4 sprinting on the grass. He still seems a little cheap to me. He's probably got to get a lot faster to beat this field. He's also a horse who likes to be forward, and it feels like there's plenty of other pace. And I thought there was a lot working against him. But maybe if you like him at some kind of a price, you can just say, well, he's in good form right now and he's got a good post.
Rafael Hernandez takes them out 9-2 on the morning line. The number 2 is Embolden, and this is an interesting horse, Mike, going out first time for Michael Maker and moving from synthetic to turf. Watching the last race at Woodbine, I didn't think this horse had a very good trip. Kind of got banged around early and then was chasing a slow pace.
Yeah, and he might not be even at his best on synthetic, although I guess that could still be considered up in the air. Listen, I think with this horse, it's all about whether you feel like, it felt like he was cut out to be a turf sprinter early in his career. He ran some really good races as a 2-year-old sprinting on the grass. Since those 2-year-old races, Dan, I only see, I see 3 turf sprints at less than 6 furlongs on his card since then. One of those is a minor stakes win at Colonial Downs. I don't know. I feel like, getting back to turf sprinting could be what this horse really wants to do. I'm a little concerned that he seems to have lost the early speed he once had. I just thought he was interested in here, getting a trainer change to Maker at a really good price and getting back to sprinting on the grass.
You're getting Maker and Saez at 15-1 on the morning line. And this horse has a good amount of back class, as Mike's mentioned. And maybe he's dirtied up by those recent synthetic lines racing up in Canada, where if you're going to sprint, you got to sprint at least 3/4 of a mile. He's cutting back to 5/8 here. Shecky Shabazz could be the speed in this race. I think it's very interesting that he's back with the Clement barn. He's owned by Clement now. His most recent race was at Monmouth, and that was a race where he faced some nice horses. 3 next out winners. Belgrano, the winner of that race, would come back to earn a 94 Beyer speed figure. I'm more interested in the race 2 starts back at Saratoga, where he showed good speed for Clement, and he didn't look like he was ever going to win that race, but boy, did he dig in for second.
He did. I mean, that's sort of the story of this horse's life. He finished second a lot. That most recent start, the last time we saw him at the end of August, in his defense, he got caught up in a pretty good duel that day, and the winner set a perfect trip and beat him. Boy, his three races prior to that, though, are the ones that concern me, Dan. I mean, clear leads in the stretch, and all three of those didn't really hold any of them. I get it. Gear Jockey's a nice horse back at the beginning of that Saratoga meet. And I know that the horse that beat him, Tubac, came back to win again, but that horse is no superstar. I don't know. I'm just not really much of a fan of this horse, and he's going to be a really short price in here.
He's 4-1 on the line with Arad Ortiz aboard, but I agree with you, Mike. I think he's going to take a little bit of money. This horse does have back class. He was third in the 2019 Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. He's got good speed, but we have not seen him since the summer, and he was listed as a vet scratch on October the 9th. Let's move to the number 4 in here. That's Elusive Mischief. And Elusive Mischief has some things going for him, perhaps. He's making his second start of the form cycle. He's moving back to his preferred turf surface, and if there is some pace up front with the 1, 3, and 8 hitting, I could see Elusive Mischief making a little bit of a run in the stretch. He's done some good things in his career, but you might have to go way back.
Yeah, that's the problem, I guess. If you really wanted to try to make a case for him, you're talking about a horse who hasn't won a race since the summer of 2019. I guess that's a concern. I thought he was, of the longer prices in it, it does feel like he could be a square price in this race. I thought, maybe he was one of the more interesting ones. He's run some good races. He's kept good company. He's a very consistent horse sprinting on the grass as well. I just felt like maybe this race he could catch some pace to run into and get a piece of this at a price.
And here's the big name in the race, the number 5 Extravagant Kid. He did win that Group 1 in Dubai last year. He's won 15 times, $1.7 million in earnings. He's just a nice horse, but as you see, he's 8-5 on the morning line, and he's a little bit pace dependent, isn't he? Let's watch his most recent start. Now, he caught another very sharp sprinter in Karatari, who ended up the favorite probably because on paper, Karatari was the main speed, and Karatari got to the lead. Extravagant Kid made a 3-wide bid at him on the turn and is flattening out just a bit when holding second.
Yeah, he's only second best here to a horse who just had everything his own way up front. Not a great performance from Extravagant Kid, but one you could certainly make excuses for. And it just, to me, then the only thing I didn't really like about him in here at a short price is it feels like, even going back to all of 2020 and 2021, got to make a lot of excuses for this horse who spent most of those two campaigns running pretty well and coming up short at the end of those races. It does feel like maybe he's lost a step or two, but he's still really good.
Now, dropping out of those stakes races, he will be eligible to receive Lasix once again. Maybe that'll move him up slightly. Kasim is the number 6. Now, we saw Kasim finish second in that race behind Like What I See. He really was no threat that day, but we do have a formulator fact. He was claimed out of that race by Carlos David. And you see here on turf, first off the claim, 8 for 17 with a $6.51 return on investment. So this barn does good work. Here are some things to consider. He claimed him off Danny Gargan, who's a pretty good trainer in his own right. I don't know how much improvement you're going to take off of Gargan.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, one thing about following the races in New York, you don't want to be claiming horses off of Danny Gargan. And this is a horse who, by the way, started off his career for Mike Maker with a couple of wins sprinting on the grass. This horse has been in good barns right along. He's obviously okay, and he's still lightly raced enough that you could say, you know what, maybe there's a big move forward coming for this horse at some point, but he's got to improve a lot against this field.
He's run well at Gulfstream in the past. We saw the runner-up effort last time out. He earned a stakes placing in the Texas Glitter as a 3-year-old over this course as well, when trained by Maker. Natural Power is up next. This seems like a little bit of an ask because we haven't seen Natural Power since October, but it looked like he was in a decent enough field last time out at Keeneland. He faced a couple of next out winners, but those horses won on dirt with 87 Beyer speed figures. Natural Power is just going to take back and hope for a blazing pace with Corey Lanerie aboard, and he probably saved some ground turning for home.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see if he can. He's another one who has to improve here. I guess maybe you just want to look at him, Dan, and say they got him over here. They tried to turn him into a turf routing kind of horse, and maybe there's a chance that he's just a horse who wanted to cut back to sprint all along. He ran okay last time, trying to make up some ground. So, I guess we'll see what happens here. I couldn't really talk myself into him, but there are some things. They're trying some different things with this horse, and maybe it'll work.
Harry's on the Loose actually earned a graded stakes placing at Gulfstream Park last year behind Leinster in the Gulfstream Turf Sprint. And while he's done some good things for this new barn, he was claimed for $35,000 back in April, he hasn't gotten back to that stakes mode. Set the pace on synthetic last time out, tired. I'm not going to hold that race against him. He is simply a better horse on turf, and he's going to probably work out a 3-wide tracking trip.
Yeah, he's supposed to be up close in this race. His recent form, it may not, stack up against some of the stakes quality horses in this field, but it's certainly solid since he's been claimed by this trainer. Last 3 turf sprints, Dan, 89, 89, 90 buyers, 2 wins out of those 3 races. I mean, he's in really good form, and he could be up close to the pace.
Well, let's take a look at our top picks for our Wednesday DRF race of the day. Mike, you're going with Embolden. He's going to be a nice price, and you can make the argument he's dirtied up and he's going out for really strong connections.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to play against the favorite in here, Extravagant Kid. Not that I'm not rooting for him to run a good race because he's a nice horse. I just kind of wanted to play against him. I've never liked Shecky Shabazz, who I think is going to take money in here, and I just don't really want any part of him. Maybe he'll just wire the field. I don't know. I wanted to try Embolden. I was interested in this horse as a younger horse. They haven't done that much turf sprinting with him. I think this is what he really wants to do.
I feel the same way as you do about the 2 favorites in this race. I think they're solid, but I think they're beatable. Like what I see is sharp, and I like playing sharp horses in turf sprints, especially if they have a modicum of early speed. I expect them to be bounced out of there from the inside post. 1-5-3-4 for me, 2-5-4-3 for Mike. It's your Wednesday race of the day. Play it with DRF bets. Good luck.